Hey everyone, so in this video I just wanted to share with you this new thing that I discovered where it's possible, to train your biceps by pushing off the wall or the floor. I've seen on various fitness channels the bicep push-up where they are pushing and yet they are training the biceps, which I've been experimenting with for a long time, but I couldn't get it. But yesterday I was attempting to film a shower workout video, and I was just doing a push like this, and I was like, whoa, I feel this more in my biceps than the triceps. And I was like, okay, I found the angle. So I'm gonna attempt to convey this this knowledge to you all, and yeah, I guess in that sense, you guys can now train your biceps at home without needing to pull off something or to curl something like that. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it, so let's get to it. Normally what I've seen online in terms of pushing off a surface to activate your biceps is that the palms are rotated downwards, and the pushing occurs whether it's the wall or the floor. It's this motion, and from there it's supposed to feel more activation of the biceps as compared to the regular push-up where the palms are twisted upwards this way. And this I do feel is the case when I'm pushing like this. Some of my biceps is activated, but I still feel a lot of my triceps and my chest area being engaged as compared to the biceps, which is supposed to target. And what I've realized when playing around in the toilet, that sounds a bit weird. What I've realized while experimenting with various exercises is that there is a lot of hip motion being... There's no clean way to explain this video. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm probably the only one with a dirty mind, but yeah, it's a lot about hip activation, rocking your hips back and forth. Ooh, I got a new tripod, so now I can do this. So it's a lot of the hips rocking back and forth. So even if I were to use the regular push-up stance where my hands are twisted upwards this way, normal push-up will look like this, going into the wall, out of the wall. If it's on the floor, then it's down and up. But if I were to do this instead, go in this way, you can see my hips are outwards, and now I rock my hips back in. So it's bringing your hips in and out this way. And I start to feel a bit of activation on the biceps. And as we talked about earlier, when you rotate your palms inwards, you start to also feel some activation on the biceps. So you combine these two together, the rocking motion and the twisting of the palms, and it looks something like this. So hips out, hips in, hips out, hips in. And in that way, you start to activate a lot more on the biceps. Of course, on the wall, you won't feel it until maybe like 30 or 40 repetitions in. But yes, you do activate a lot more of the biceps, in my opinion, as compared to the triceps and the chest. So to further explain my point, I brought this little stick for more demonstration purposes. So for chest and triceps, if you want to feel more of that, it's really about this motion where you're going in like a straight line. However, if you change that pivot point, you bring it down and you start using more of your hips and you start going in this motion instead, that is when you start getting more activation on the biceps. So similarly, this is going towards a wall if you're pushing off a wall. If you're pushing off the floor, then it will be in this motion. So up and down like your usual push-up. And if you want to start using more of your biceps, activating those biceps, you start going up and down in this way instead. So the movement starts from the hips, and that's how you start getting more activation on the biceps. So last but not least, I'm going to bring it down to the floor just to show you the full thing. Alright, so now we're down to the ground, and this is not supposed to be in the frame. I'm going to demonstrate this with my fingers pointing forward and my knees down first. Alright, so this is the usual push-up. As you can see, I start the movement by bending my elbows. I try and keep my hips in a neutral manner and my back flat, as such. Right, when I want to start activating the biceps, now I want to start the movement using my hips instead of my elbows first. Alright, so my hips go backward and upward first, and now I go down. So you can see my hips is still pointing up, and from there, hips go down and the elbows straighten. Right, so I repeat that again, and up. So you can see I'm rocking back and forth just as I showed you all with the stick earlier, to feel more on the biceps. And as mentioned before, we want to twist the palms inwards to get even more activation. So it would now look like this. And I just rock my hips back and forth, to do a somewhat of a bicep push-up and to increase the activation in the bicep Okay, if I want to do that further with a push-up, I should catch my breath first. So this push-up where the knees are off the ground, okay, it will look like this. Let's compare the difference first, alright? So a regular push-up with my palms twisted inward like this. Okay, even if I were to go down and up, okay, I would still feel a lot more activation in my triceps and my chest with a little bit of stretch on the inner part of the forearm when going down and up. To increase the activation, okay, I rock my hips back and forth, as we have mentioned quite a number of times. Alright, and I go down, and you can clearly see now, okay, that my hips are up and now my hips are down. So in this manner, where I'm rocking back and forth. It does look a little bit funny, okay, but for me, that has allowed me to increase activation in my bicep by pushing off the floor. So yeah, maybe you can give this a try at home and let me know how it goes. So that is essentially the end of the video to explain how to target that one single muscle. It's always fascinating how to use an unconventional exercise or movement to target a muscle that you normally would train using some other way. So in this case, using a pushing kind of movement to target a muscle, the bicep, that is predominantly used in pulling. So yeah, as I mentioned, let me know how it goes, whether you can feel it, and yeah, if you do, that will be awesome. And if you can't do, just comment in the comment section. You can DM me on my Instagram as well, and hopefully I can find a way to help you get that activation a little bit better. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if not, don't stop moving, and I will see you soon.